This is a special occasion, being our 7th edition of the international conference, and I hope it is a start of great things for all of us in building the impact of geospatial technology and space science on our continent.
What you need to do is to give us information that is simplified, information that can help us internalize and understand which way to take to enable us make informed decisions as policymakers. And once you do that, I don't think anyone will doubt your information. It will be very difficult for people to doubt your information.
It's going to be an interesting session based on the CVs and experience that these individuals have.
We want communities and societies to take ownership, and therefore we want to involve communities in building these capacities, which is critical for the space program.
The call for the link between science and policy has been very eminent. This is simply linking science and policy, generating the knowledge and then getting it informed.
We here are all mandated to be able to support governments.
So we believe we cannot reform unless we deform the form, and that's what we are doing.
What we've been able to do with RCMLD through the less than 2 years that we've been partners shows the amazing potential that exists in our synergies.
We believe that our future starts with geographic understanding and recognizing our world as an interdependent ecosystem that we as humans can shape with the decisions that we make.
I hope that this will provide us a platform to even form new collaborations that we can be able to leverage on and that will be geared towards bridging the gap between science and policy.
You need to move away from data dissemination to data utilization. And that utilization is at the community level where we want to see the most impact, where we want to see results of the Africa we want to build.
RIG 2023, 3 words to describe it: goldmine of information, because there's usually this disconnect between what we learn in class and what actually happens in the ground, like applying and connecting the two from the knowledge base to what the part of the application part. I think that has been the most important part of this conference this year. Some of these data that we think to be just numbers and figures can be used to solve some of the problems. We can integrate this data, this knowledge, these figures and random numbers we see out there to actually bring change and just give meaning to it.
This is an incredible opportunity. It's a learning opportunity. You're all coming from many different places. Clearly some very senior executives in the room, many of you well-established professionals and practitioners in geospatial technologies. A key part of engaging a community with this powerful technology is to simplify the experience through apps, make it easier for people to visualize it and work with it, and also training, so you're empowering that community to take advantage of these capabilities themselves.
We believe that it's time for a third party to provide a solution to these market issues around data, a market or a solution which is not motivated by profit only and can be trusted by everyone to solve these inefficiencies. We want to leverage the place network power. We want to have local support. We want to scale and work with local companies. We want to create jobs for the young people, be transparent and accountable. We are not for profit, and we want to make data affordable, accessible, and financially sustainable.
They are networking, science, research, academia, civil society, policymakers. We are actually now engaging, collaborating with with the RCMRD on a number of projects, which we're very proud of across Africa on these issues. So we look forward to working with them further.
In as much as we have data that is global, countries also require national data to be able to make decisions around local issues that are affecting the countries. So we have been working with the Kenya Space Agency and South Africa, particularly the SAGO, that is South Africa Group on Earth Observation, to create a guidance document that can guide countries on when they want to create a coordination mechanism, how do they go about it. And I know for the conversation around spatial data infrastructure has been there for decades in this country, for instance. We're always consistently talking about it. So what we want to do is to create a value proposition where countries get to understand why do they need to make an investment in having a data sharing mechanism.
This broadening of the sources of data is a welcome thing, because remote sensed data is cheaper. It is sometimes it is even more reliable because it doesn't suffer from some of the defects that other data has. So a conference like this really that is talking about data issues sharing and Earth observation as an alternative is a very good one, because it is a solution, one of the solutions to the problems that our countries have.
As an intern beneficiary, I've been able to learn a lot, especially in the geospatial field and also in the technical field, especially on programming and using various software for GIS activities.
The first thing you have done when you have data is to discuss with the actors. The decision maker can't know what is spatial data, what is data satellite, or raster or vector, but they know the importance to data for decisions. And we give them the importance and the data, the real data, that can make us to take the best decisions.
As I mentioned before, OGC standards very important in Earth observation. It's a similar story in the digital health space. A lot of standards are sort of published by the World Health Organization. And this, again, it helps with interoperability, making sure that different systems can work with each other. They can share data, because this is really how value is created as well.
In research, we look for the data and we develop methods that enable us to get the data that we want. Our understanding or use of data integration is more or less in troubleshooting problems and trying to see how we can mash together different data sets to solve a problem.
Data is there, but data is useless if it is not converted into information, turned into information. And then once you have the information, what do you do with it? You convert the information into matter, into materials, into tangible things we can have. So my challenge to us, can we convert data to information and then information to matter?
So some of the benefits that we find include a reduction in duplication of effort. We all know that collecting data is very expensive, it's time consuming. And the other benefit is that when you're sharing or when you're using data that's already available, you increase compatibility and interoperability of that data across different domains.
The other thought or action that can help data integration for decision making is having an establishment of data governance framework for sharing and access agreement to bring data together, like having tools, similar tools when collecting similar data, so that this data can be compatible. So harmonization of data collection tools. Sometimes everyone wants to keep their data, but if it is invested as a public good, it will be more available, more accessible, then it becomes very usable, because if you need to make decision on whatever area, you'll have access to a lot of data which can be integrated and fused to help in making decisions.
Our interest in this conference is that it deals with a topic that is very pertinent to us, because obviously as you do planning and management of water, data and information are very, very crucial. The reliability and the accuracy of the information determines how useful the analysis will be and improves the evidence base of those decisions that are made. So when countries come together to to have these conversations about how to utilize the resources, the basis in terms of the data on the water resources, on climate, the use and other factors becomes very, very crucial. We think that this conference goes a long way in terms of ensuring the sustainable utilization of our resources, and also in terms of supporting our responses to emerging challenges like climate change.
I have to say I've been very impressed with all the attendees here. There's been a very young crowd. I've had a lot of very interesting, engaging conversations. What we have here in Africa, we have a very large young population. What you've seen, I think, this week from a lot of the partners here, there's a lot of data available, a lot of tools available, there's a lot of help available, and it's up to you guys. I challenge you guys to take those resources, take that data, and build on top of it.
You are the right candidate to identify some problems in your communities and propose solutions, even a policy change, because of what you've learned here. Going forward, there is need to shift the conversation from data access to data utilization.
The RIC event is quite important for the user community that we have. This gives us an opportunity to learn from each other, to share experiences, to learn what's new in terms of the evolving technology and so on. So it's always been a great opportunity for us as Esri to come here for every year that RIC has been taking place and coming and connecting with all the users.
RIC is very important for us as an industry because this is the opportunity we get to share the work and outputs, products, solutions that we've been working on a lot more, especially with the community within the geospatial industry and also the ones outside of the geospatial industry. It really enables us to, impact the next generation of geospatial scientists, and that is something that we as a company are very committed towards doing and empowering and ensuring that the solutions and services we provide are able to transform the communities in Africa.
For us, what we pick from here is network and the collaborations we are looking forward to explore. And we believe these can translate into business, but also other initiatives and efforts for the development of the geospatial industry as a whole.
Yeah, I think the main reason why this event is important is that it brings a community of people who are using space technology to address the emerging needs that our countries are facing. We live in a world where it is very difficult to predict the future, but using the space technology, we are able to identify how are the rainfall patterns going to be, how are the temperatures going to change, when are crop yields going to be done, when should farmers be alerted when there is an issue, when are droughts going to appear, when are floods going to appear. So this technology allows us to understand our Earth, and it will be able to be used by different partners, different stakeholders in government, in the civil society, in the education sector, to come up with policies and various ways in which they can address these changing needs.
RIC for me personally has been a great event. One, because we've been able to articulate what we're doing as AfriGeo, but the other thing is it also brought in partners that we've been able to engage them and advance some of the conversations that would normally take a very long process.
The partners that we work with, they have come with their experiences. Always we have been talking about data, and we have a lot of platforms that collect data. But how is this data accessible to the policymakers? So we have been able to come up with ways where this data needs to be simplified and packaged in a way that the policymakers can be able to use it and integrate their decision making and policy making. We also seen that it is very important to include also the academia, because they are also the people who carry the knowledge forward for sustainability.
RCMRD International Conference is an important event because it brings professionals from all walks of life to come share, as well as update themselves in the latest technologies that are in the market. Please keep in mind that this technology is fast changing, So constantly we need people to be together and update each other on the best technologies and the best practices currently in the market.
RCMRD remains an instrumental partner in terms of implementation of services so as to report to the national development challenges in the country and support the various programs like Sustainable Development Goals and add more partners so then we continue to expand so that we reach all the 47 counties in Kenya.
One of the areas that actually excited me so much is where the students were presenting what they have been doing. And that one, actually now we are preparing tomorrow's scientists. So you've had students from University of Nairobi, Kenyatta University, Regional Center Training Institute, and also from JKUAT, and also universities from outside. I remember there was one from Nigeria, which was very captivating. And also now it was facing in, because even the professionals, some professors were there presenting very insight information. And it is the high time now the decision makers to be able to take this knowledge and be able to base on it when they are making decisions.
So I wish to take this opportunity to thank everybody who came to participate in this conference or made a contribution of any kind to the success of this event. It's been extremely successful, marked by the huge attendance by people from all walks of life, all kinds of age groups, professionals, policymakers from around the globe. So thank you very much for really honoring our invitation and the excellent sessions we had, contributions from all sorts of experts. So I believe everybody has an important thing to take back home from this conference.
Thank you for coming to this conference. And it is now my singular privilege and honor to declare RIC 2023 closed.